there is the chance for those who have RSU to take company to risky position. Uh, what dividend payout ratio? Yeah, Wall Street Journal is funny because yesterday they say one article, but which is what is interest coverage ratio? And this NYU faculty was describing the ratio. It's good article, good writing, uh, but very plain some intuition about how to use interest coverage ratio and changing nature of interest coverage ratio. That part was good. Now dividend payout is this: dividend over income. In other words, for $1 earning, what is the payout? So what they do is dividend per share over earnings per share. That will give you your percent. Well, it used to be higher for the blue chip stock, like good old days. What they are making money other than replacing aging asset, they pay out. So right now, dividend is getting smaller and smaller because stock repurchase took over the dividend in terms of paying cash to the shareholders. So you see more and more cash going into shareholders through stock repurchase and dividend. They don't want to stop with the dividend. Stock repurchase you can do once in a while, once every few years, twice a day, twice a year. But stock dividend 4 times a year, you fix it. And you can reduce or skip. If you reduce the dividend and skip, you have trouble. Stock price will nosedive because they suspect you have cash flow problem. They can honor minimum commitment to pay dividend. They must have something serious going on inside. That's why if they don't have cash dividend, what they do? Spin off. If they don't have a good investment to spin off, liquidating property. Don't have any property to pay out, stop. That's how much they are unwilling to skip dividend, because once they skip dividend, they know what follows. And this is a dividend yield. Current stock price is a denominator, not net income. Dividend per share over current stock price per share. That's the dividend yield. How much you get dividend by investing in one company stock. So cash dividend, you have two different dividends. Cash dividend, small stock dividend, and large stock dividend. But if we recap our discussion on dividend, dividend has 3 major dates. Date of declaration, and here date of payment. And this is the date of record. Date of declaration, BOD Board of Directors will say, will declare dividend. Now, as soon as you declare dividend, well, in this case, payment. This is the payment. Declare and pays? No, you don't do that. This is a simple illustration. There is 4 to 6 weeks gap. 4 to 6 week gap between date of declaration and date of payment. Now, if you purchase stock before date of record, you will get date of payment here. You get dividend payment. But if you purchase stock here after date of record, stock is X dividend, you don't get payment here. You have to wait for the next payment. So this is the with dividend, X dividend. Date of record, here this is an accounting event because you say dividend or retained earning, credit will be dividend, payable, contra, equity account, not current liability because this is the owner's transaction. But here, You say dividend payable and credit will be cash. You gotta pay cash here. Date of record, there are millions of shareholders. You have to list your name with transfer agent, which is commercial bank usually. You have to list your name in order to get paid here. Do they compile millions of names one day? No, 2-3 days advance. 2-3 days advance. So actually, you have to purchase before this date of record, 2-3 days before, because the commercial agent, like a commercial bank transfer agent, they need 2-3 days to compile millions of names for the shareholders who will get paid on date of payment. So this is no accounting event, no journal entry. We don't make a journal entry here. So here it says declared and paid. What? Declared, paid, dividend payable debit, dividend payable credit, cross each other out. It is saying you combine these two events, which is not the real case. You need to allow several weeks between these two days. Your legal obligation to pay will occur here. Yeah, once you declare, that's a legal obligation. Preferred and common share dividend. In other words, it's par value common stock and 50 par value, 8%. So 8% means they will pay $4 every year. $4 if you have the one preferred share, and common share 50,000 and declare 20,000 dividend, 260,000 and 60,000 third year. So how you allocate this? Now first is 20,000 paid here, 20,000 dividend. You have to pay current year dividend. So the 15,000 and $50 per value, 8%. Only how much is this? Total it will be 60,000, but you have only 20,000, so you pay 20,000, but then you don't pay remaining 40,000 unpaid. Dividend right now will be dividend in arrears. This is a dividend in arrears. You owe this money in the future. But you pay 20 out of 60,000, pay 20,000. So how much common stock holders will get? Zero for the first year. Second, 260,000. So you have now 40,000 dividend arrear will be paid first, and full payment 60,000 will be paid. Remaining 160,000 will be paid to the common shareholders. So 260,000, 100 here, 160 here. 60,000, you pay 60,000 to preferred stockholders, 0 for common shareholders. In this case, preferred stock is cumulative. If preferred stock is not cumulative, you don't have to pay dividend in arrears. Every year is a brand new year. But if this is a cumulative, yeah, you owe prior unpaid dividend arrear before you pay any penny to common shareholders. So far, how many different types of preferred stock we have? Cumulative, convertible, participating. One more. There are many more. One more. Redeemable. Redeemable. See, redeemable preferred stock. We'll talk about that later. Here, common stock, large dividend, and stock dividend, small dividend. Now, small dividend use market value. Therefore, what they do when they capitalize retained earnings, this is a very research is very interesting in this area. Small stock dividend is less than 20-25%. Now, in that case, you have a retained your stock, retained earning will be capitalized, and here you have a common stock because you pay a stock as a dividend, small stock dividend. Now, when you capitalize this, this is based on the market value. So, for let's say market value is $100, market value is $100, and you have a stock option, 1,000, and this is based upon a market value. Why they choose small stock dividend? Management is confident that capitalizing at market value $100, they will have more capital basis. They wanna permanently capitalize on the income into permanent capital. They're comfortable. This is a sign of a good sign of confidence. Stock market considers small stock dividend as good news. Good news most of the time. What about large stock dividend? 20-25%, more than 20-25%. And in this case, large stock dividend, they use a $1 par value. So this, let's say this is a 30% stock dividend. They use this the $10 here, $10 and $1, 30% stock dividend. So $10, the number of issue is 10. So $1 par value. So debit will be retained earning of 10, credit common stock 10. Look at this difference. Look at this difference. One use market value, $100, one use par value, and make the same journal entry, retained earning and common stock. Suppose this is supposed to be small stock dividend, therefore suppose assume that even if with a small stock dividend less than 20-25%, it is not supposed to affect the stock prices. In real situation, affect the small stock prices. Theoretically, you are not supposed to see any changes in stock prices. Here, you see stock prices changing, but since you are capitalizing at par value, not much. The idea here, you are increasing number of shares by capitalizing small amount, which is par value. Here, you are permanently capitalized on the income into capital by using market value. This, from stock price point of view, this is non-event, no reaction. Good news. Most research, good news, because that they say that is confidence of the management confidence. Here, small stock dividend. So you have market price 1 million share 5, but you are using $30. So $30 multiplied by a 15% a outstanding share stock dividend, which is less than 20. So you are capitalizing a market value, total 4.5 million, debit retained earning, credit common stock, APIC. Yep. Small stock dividend. And large stock dividend, you are using what? $5 par value. So if you multiply $5 here, that will be 3.5 million. Common stock. There is no APIC because this is a par value. Total 3.5 million. Why 20-25%? Who chose 20-25%? Why not 30? Or why not 10? Why 20-25%? See, in accounting, there are not many cases where FASB says certain percent because they don't want to say certain a guideline because that is management and individual the accountant's professional judgment. But you have 20%, less than 20% investment cost, 20 to 50 equity, over 50 consolidation, that is one rule. 10% rule in the segment reporting. If you have a customer representing more than 10% of the sale, you must disclose that in the footnote, 10% rule. And you must disclose one segment where you bring more than 10%, but total the percentage of sales you must disclose is up to 70%. So 10%, 9%, 70% rule, and percentage-wise dividend is 20-25%. That's pretty much it. Out of 14,000 pages of the gap, they say. I don't know, I didn't count. Specific guidelines are just handful. Everything else is judgment. And in this case, based upon research, if you increase number of stock less than 20-25%, they tend to not to affect the stock price. Yet, they are capitalizing retained earnings at the market stock price. In other words, permanently transfer retained earnings to capital. So, any other percentage I'm missing? You know, any specific guideline? Segment reporting, investment, and this? I'm sure there are a few more. Not many. Stock split. What is the stock split? There are two types of stock split. For example, 2-for-1 stock split, 1-for-2 stock split. 1-for-2 stock split is called reverse stock split. 2-for-1 stock split is stock split, but 1-for-2 stock split is a reverse stock split. Stock split, we know this is a non-accounting event. You just put memo entry because this doesn't affect the stock prices. Just number of slices of pie has been changed. Out of 8, now you have 16. That's about it. Out of 8, from 8 to 16 slices. Total firm value did not change. So this is a non-accounting event, memo entry. But here, 1-for-2, why they do that? From 8 to what? 4. From 8 to 4. 1-for-2 reverse stock split. This became a popular transaction from late 1980s and on. What is your motivation to cut number of shares by half or by 1/3, 1 to 3 stock split? What is your motivation? 1-for-3, 1-for-4? Typically 1 to 3. Oh yeah, you can do that. See, you reduce EPS computation. Number of this denominator will be half, right? Numbers of common shares outstanding will be half. Yes, you can immediately you see earnings per share goes up by 100%, double. Yeah, and what else?
Individual stock price is then higher?
Individual stock price from right here from $4 per share. Ideally, supposedly, this will be $8 per share. Yeah.
You go the other way if you want to make it cheap.
Yeah, here, yeah. So, what is the motivation for stock split then? Let's do this one first. Just one brand new one here. We don't have accounting here, so that's a good part of this. The number of shares goes up. What is the management motivation to go for 2-for-1, 3-for-1, 4-for-1 stock split?
Stock more available.
Stock more available. They have confidence in their operations. They want more people to own their own stock. They want to increase capital basis, and that is good because once I own shares, I feel like I am owner of corporation. I use nothing but that corporation product, service. That's the one reason why they increase number of shares. If that is the case, what is this?
Would it be to kind of fend off takeovers?
Exactly. My stocks are everywhere. So I want to cut it half, 1/3. So that Carl Icahn and Tim Pickett will have a hard time purchasing my stock. This is fending off a Carl Icahn approach you
Mm.
purchasing.
Don't scare me.
See, that is the number one reason why this one. We don't have obvious research. This is good news. For this one, we don't have obvious research because I guess not many number of observations to test on. Either good news or bad news, we don't have a solid research on this. This one, yes, on the average, stock split, it is good news because that's evidence of management confidence. And it became very popular since mid 1980s. And obviously, merger and acquisition. It became very popular after that case. See? As Waka mentioned here, utilize calculation of earnings per share. No? See? Cash flow hedge, foreign currency, retirement benefit change, and this is AFS. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 items. What is the cash flow hedge as opposed to fair value hedge? Fair value, gain or loss from fair value hedge will go to income statement. Gain or loss from cash flow hedge will go to stockholders' equity as part of AOCI. Now, we should know difference between these two because one goes to income statement, the other goes to here, stockholders' equity section. What is the first, either one, fair value hedge and cash flow hedge? The swap transaction we did, the derivative transaction we analyzed, that is a typical fair value hedge. Stock is option, future, forward. These are fair value hedge. In other words, that affect the value of asset itself. You are hedging the asset liability itself. Value of that goes up and down depending upon action you are choosing. That's why it is called fair value hedge, and that is part of immediate management result of immediate management action. So we include FASB, according to FASB, we include that into income statement. But cash flow hedge, you are protecting timing of cash flow. That's it. You commit yourself for the 3 years of raw material purchase. I am General Mills. I do cereal. I make a cereal. I need reliable, a stable supply of corn and other grains. So I sign contract with the farmers that for the next 3 years, I am buying a certain raw material at certain prices. The change in prices, gain or loss, compared to original contract. That's a cash flow hedge. See the differences? Yeah. Difference is right there. And this is a cash flow hedge. Foreign currency, we already talked about it. Pension adjustment, AFS. The 3 months, the RO3. Trading will go to income statement. AFS will go to here. And HTM, that's the income statement, typical the amortization of premium or discount. So this is what you have here. the IBM comprehensive income at the end of 2012, you have total loss, comprehensive loss of 25 billion, and that mostly is coming from retirement benefit changes. Now, I think right now, this will be much bigger than this. Why?
No.
US dollar became very expensive when 13, 14, right? Yeah, especially 13, 14. So this will go on the foreign currency side. You assuming, well, I think IBM has a lot of international business, worldwide operation. So this, I assume this will be a big negative item right now. Just a fine. Cash flow hedge, foreign currency, and retirement benefit, unrealized loss on pension investment, change in pension plan assumptions, pension liability. So what would be one example of changes in pension plan assumptions? That goes back to our case that we are going to talk about. They made one change on pension plan. Yeah, you can do that, you know? Yeah, mortality.
Actuaries run, say, you're paying more.
That increase your pension expense. So that all the pension expense will be affected by many different factors. We will that case. We talk about more on pension. Available for sale, 4 million. And we already know foreign currency now changing it. Now remember this here now this is the case. US strength. US dollar is very strong here. So liability and equity and asset will be decreased compared to cheap US dollar. Because if you do business with foreigners, foreign partners, export and import most likely will be denominated in foreign currency. In other words, if dollar is really strong, now almost parity. $1 is 1.47 euro. No. 1 euro is $1.07. $1.08. So almost parity. Used to be 1 euro is $1.40. Which means I have 10 euro, $10 million euro account receivable coming in 3 months. $10 million I'm getting, or slightly more. I used to get $14 million when the exchange rate was 1 euro was $1.40. $4 million loss right away. So when US dollar is strong, that's what's going to happen. Your account receivable will head down this much, and that will go to retained earnings. And liability all go down, and that's why right now the earnings quality to me is very strong. Whoever report increasing earnings these days, they are subject to this strong US dollar valuation, which means once this trend reverse, holding everything constant, they will report much higher earnings. I think this is quality of earnings these days is really high. Non-controlling interest. This is a major topic, module, next module, and I will talk about here you set aside, this is how much income, non-controlling interest, the non-consenting shareholders, you set aside $770 million for a minority interest. NCI here, here non-controlling interest will be, you have to set aside both earnings and equity. Two. In income statement, earnings you set aside for non-controlling equity statement. So that will show you how much percentage you don't own on the average for the subsidiaries you have. In other words, if this percentage is 10% with 100 subsidiaries, on the average, you own 90% of the 100 subsidiaries. Some 100%, some 60%, but take average, that means 90% ownership. Here, yeah, non-redeemable, that is someone else. Can be redeemed. So that's someone else, so this will be, well, from 2007 and on, this will be part of the top of the equity. You see this now, this is consistent with the entity view. Non-controlling interest, we already did this. Return on equity from perspective of parent company, which is what? Controlling shares. So numerator top, usually net income to parent company, denominator include only equity parent company. So apples to apples, excluding non-controlling interest. That's why we have in earlier module 2 or 3, we have non-controlling interest ratio, and you multiply that to have a. Now, there are many ways to decrease the increase of your equity. Now we say this is the equity carve out. Equity carve out. You change your equity component, and typically there are 3 ways of doing this equity carve out. Now, equity carve out. You take out your part of equity like this. Look, well, first sell off. Well, we know sell off journal entry. You got a cash or whatever, and then you remove your investment. This will be here. If you have losses or a gain. If you have a gain will show up, loss will show up, and you're getting rid of that part of the investment. That's a sell off, carve out. Now, to spin off. You have investment in other company stock, so you give investment to a parent company shareholders. In other words, look, you have investment in a Campbell Soup. Now, let's assume Comcast has 20% ownership, common share ownership in Campbell Soup. Campbell Soup is getting rid of a Campbell Soup 20% investment by giving stock 20% ownership shares in Campbell Soup to Comcast shareholders. So in that case here, you are getting rid of a retained earning, and therefore you are removing your investment. This is a spin-off. You are giving someone else equity ownership to your own shareholders. And the result, you don't own it. Comcast doesn't own 20%, your shareholders own. Spin off. The other is a split off. Split off. What is a split off? Using 20% Campbell Soup stock, I purchase my own shares in the market. Look, I dump 20% of Campbell Soup, go to stock market, dump, and that change into my Comcast shares. In other words, you buying your own shares back using someone by dumping a other company stock. So, end result is what? You have treasury shares. You are buying your share back, and here you have removing your investment. Yeah. Sell off, spin off, split off. These are 3 common equity cover.
What about something called a reverse Morris trust?
reverse
Morris Trust, I think it's called. Do you know? It's
RDIT.
it's like a spin off, and then you spin it off to another firm, and they sell it immediately when they
Who's selling who?
a division of a company you want to spin off.
Mhm.
So you spin it off. I guess you would sell it off to a third party, and then they would spin it off. It
Well,
came up
end
at my
result would-
job, so yeah, it's like both of those transactions.
Yeah, end result is the same.
Yeah.
You are getting return investment that way,
Right.
and you have to reduce your capital basis because you don't have that anymore. If you get left-hand side, right-hand side, left-hand side, or right-hand side must go down. And yeah, there could be many variations to this transaction. End result, yeah, you can combine these two. Yeah,
Mhm.
certainly. Underwriters will ask you, those who underwriting this transaction can give you exactly, in this way, you can see this much of tax, yeah? They can restructure this transaction. The basic format of equity carve-out takes three forms, like this: sell, spin, split off. And spin off, A, split off. But we should know in financial statement impact. Well, journal entry will take care of that part. I mean, if you remember journal entry. And you don't have to remember, I mean, that's a natural carve-out. Equity carve-out, convertible securities, convertible debt to stock, and you have certain conditions are met after certain time period. At holders option, you can convert a debt into a common stock. Preferred stock, convertible preferred stock, Series A convertible preferred stock. In other words, different types of classes. Option is valuable in high price security when the option future is a marketable securities where you can trade for a profit. What conversion privilege impose cost of gas? You have to pay the price, money to trigger the transaction. And they will do that only if they can make money. So there is cost, but if there is a more gain, they do that. Now, global under IFRS, accounting for equity is similar to the US GAAP. This is the common stock, and this is the ordinary share. Share capital, ordinary share is more commonly used. Here, preferred share is a preference share. Additional paid in capital or capital in excess of par is a share premium. Now, premium in US GAAP, what do you mean by premium? Well, this is an additional, so they say IFRS says premium. In US GAAP, how do you use premium? What is the definition of premium? Premium
Over the value?
over the value, premium. In which case we have a premium? Bond. The premium IFRS is using, this one is quite different premium we are using. That's why even if we adopt 100% of IFRS, you will see many different terms because reserve here. Retained earning is a reserve. What is a reserve in our terms? Valuation reserve, yes.
Where you allocate it that you can't touch it.
See, like allowance for doubtful account, allowance for a deferred tax as valuation allowances. This a reserve is for a contingency, not here. This is not contingency. This is what you own. So premium reserve, US GAAP, they hate it. Except for the original meaning they are using here. So this one, the major compromise, major transition adjustment, even if we go for IFRS, if we go for IFRS. AOCI, other equity or other components of equity, they use this one, revaluation reserve. This one is most popular. Out of these four, revaluation reserve, that is this one. But that includes increase in property, plant, and equipment. See, fair value, historical cost is this one. The building value goes up. The difference between this is this. But AOCI is not including fair value increase. So this is quite different from this. This is major alignment challenge. More narrow definition of liability than IFRS. The more items are classified as liability under IFRS. See, this is more conservative at least for IFRS. Some preferred shares are deemed liability under IFRS and equity under GAAP. Redeemable preferred stock, redeemable part, they say this is a debt because you pay fixed dividend, which is interest. You have to pay back after a certain time period, which is debt. Even if that name is a redeemable preferred stock, this substance, this is a debt, so you classify as. But here, people, oh, this is a share stock, so they classify it under equity. So, which means IFRS follows substance over form, form over substance. That's the big difference. One, substance over form, in this case, not always, form over substance. This is a very different implication for the financial reporting. One follows substance over form, the other follows form over substance, right here. Treasury shares, treasury transaction, not obvious under IFRS. Companies are not required to report separate line items for treasury shares. Well, we have that in US GAAP. Perfect timing for a case. The reason why this is kind of a catch, a very old case, but this is anyone who can just spend a minute or two to introduce this case, summarize, as you understand. Simple. I mean, this is, yes, sure.
It's a large manufacturing plant based in the Midwest. They've been doing well for almost 100 years, and they constructed heavy equipment basically. So 1/3 was for mining and electrical equipment, 1/3 was for construction equipment, almost 1/3 for material handling equipment, and then a small part for engineering consulting services basically. And then basically in the late 70s and early 80s, the recession started to catch up. Demand for their products and services started to decline, while the cost of borrowing started to increase precipitously, which affected their net income. And so revenues started to plummet. They had grown, and to finance their growth, they had to go to debt financing. Their debt to equity ratio went from 0.88 to 1.26 over 7 years. And then that's when the recession hit. It hurt them a lot more because they relied on so much debt and the interest rates going up. So so that caused them to breach some of the covenants that they had on their debt financing. So they had to reorganize, and management came up with a 4-point plan to reorganize everything and turn the company around.
Exactly, yes. Very good.
I try.
Yeah, that's the overview of the case. Detailed numbers, we'll deal with the detailed numbers. Like Sean introduced, the first 2 years, 82, 83, they have $77 million losses, $35 million losses. All of a sudden, they have $5.7 million income. Economic situation remains the same. All of a sudden, they report positive EPS, 1.28. Just like Sean introduced, from 1973 to 1980, 6-7 year period, revenue 205 million to 644 million, 0.88 for debt equity ratio, now 1.26. That's financing. What happened to 1980, 1979, 1980, 81, 82? That triggered this decline in this heavy equipment machinery. Recession, caused by what? Recession, 1979, 1980. What recession?
Oil.
Oil embargo. See, one a Saudi prince visited the United States over the Christmas holiday. I guess he had the idea of Christmas anyway. He toured around the United States. They are using this energy like cheap, in other words, by importing their oil, they are using all these, Christmas decorations and all this. He was not happy with the way U.S. is spending energy. He said they have to pay much higher price for Saudi oil. Oil price triple. And they start exporting at some point their oil to Western world, and that is a so-called oil embargo. And if you don't have money, and economy just stopped. The best son-in-law in that era, best son-in-law, was who can get a gas for the father-in-law the automobile. If you get the for father-in-law, that's the best son-in-law back then. Because there was a huge line in gas station with a container. Would you believe? And you get 5 gallons, and you use it for many different purposes. That's what happened. That's why the economy just faced a total recession, and there's no demand for a tractor, and there's no demand for heavy equipment machinery. That's why it happened here, 82, 83. But the economy stayed that way, they were able to report $1.28 per share, a positive EPS. And they faced, they commit technical default because they must maintain working capital 175 million, 29 million reported. Net worth, they must maintain, according to debt covenant, 180 million, 142 million. Current ratio, according to debt contract, 1.75. Now they are at 1.12 right here. Serious problem. For technical default, they say all money you borrow plus accrued interest is due at the date of technical default. Problem. Their debt equity ratio here just keep increasing here and keep increasing if they borrow money, and all debts are due at one point, and then they need a lot of cash. They don't have proper access to the financing market, and this is what's happening. The question: how they were able to report this guy from this 2 years of losses? All of a sudden, the $1.28 when everything else is the same. Recession, no more demand for the product, the market situation, somehow they were able to report positive EPS. That's the essence of it. Anyone who can answer how, from reading their financial statement and footnote, most of the information, from these losses to here, a sudden turnaround for their financial performance.
Part of it says that 93 cents of the 1.28 share was from the cumulative effect
Exactly.
and depreciation accounting.
Exactly. In other words,
Share.
exactly. In other words, this one. Let me. Independent CPA's report. If you go to independent CPA's report, which is in where? What page? Look at the independent CPA's report. 328. Thank you. Is it unit 4? Independent CPA's report. What did they say about the accounting changes? 93 cents out of $1.28 is coming from cumulative effect of depreciation changes. Therefore, they changed depreciation method, which will increase their reported net income by 90 cents per share. So, independent CPA was nice enough to point out, well, out of $1.28, 93 cents came from change in accounting method. And they say the implication of that qualification, in other words, this is a qualified opinion, not clean opinion. They qualified one change. So they say that 35 cents between this and this, 25 cents. 25 cents is real earnings, the real earnings per share they earn. That's the implication. Anyone else to add to how come they turn around their operation suddenly from 82.3 to 84 positive EPS? Anyone? That is number one, and CPA says that is coming from the change in accounting method.
That they had a sellout of inventory.
Oh, LIFO liquidation. See, LIFO liquidation that increased 2.4 million. So that is a 20 per dollar share, 20 cents per share. Now, why 20 per share? What is the total number of shares outstanding for the company, which is in stockholders' equity section? 120,000 shares, 120 some shares. So we know LIFO liquidation and cumulative effect, 2.4 million cumulative effect. This one we know. What else we know? By the way, anyone who can tell me why LIFO liquidation will increase income? That we have to answer.
Because they're selling cheaper on the books, they're selling less stuff at lower price.
Lower price. Lower ending in lower inventory will be included in cost of goods sold. Cost of sales price fixed. Cost of goods sold will go down, and income will go up by 2.4 by
Giving back to the building.
you're liquidating layers, prior layers, all the way to beginning inventory. That will be perfect. So that will increase income. In addition to this, they say, oh, our asset has more life. Yeah. More life means depreciation expense will go down. So that's how much we report extra income, 3.2 million. And per share impact 27%. Or that, from the page. Oh. Okay. I guess you can put is supposed to be homework. Now I end up handing out my solution. Last night I said, oh, this is so old case. I don't have solution, so I had to come to the solution last. See, compared to that is nothing. That is very healthy company compared to this. Here, now they structured deal with Kobe Steel, Kobe, and they got a upfront fee income 4.3 million, 35 cents per share this year. This year. Allowance to reduce inventory. $690,000 valuation allowances. 690,000. Nickel per share increase. Nickel per share. Account receivable allowance. Economic situation is the same, but they slash allowances. That will increase income $2.63 million. Just like that. Same item, 21 cents. R&D compared to sales, they slash last year's sales. They slash about 10 million R&D expense. Slash R&D expense went down 9.9 million. That gives 81 cents extra. Promotional expense, income statement promotional expense, revenue increased, but they slashed promotional marketing expense by $34 million. So $2.80. There is one item I found this morning. I thought I read carefully, but then in the morning I came here at 7:30, and I was reviewing this, and there is one more item. What was the item that I didn't list here?
They issue stock and they paid off their debt.
And that gives income, their income.
Well, it reduces their interest expense.
Oh, interest expense. Well, that is that's the point. Because this is the efficient transaction, and that will be actually a economic transaction to increase wage.
You also probably have the workforce.
No obvious immediate impact on people's economy. That's what they listed all the way to the end. Pension. You know, pension expense went down because how much? 2 million. Pension expense went down. 2 million. Pension expense. Go to pension footnote. This morning I was, how can I list this pension footnote? If you go to 3-42, right hand column, was to reduce pension expense approximately 4 million in 84. 4 million. 4 million. Pension expense 4 million. 4 million per share is 66 cents. Here, 66 cents. Add 66 cents pension. The way they decrease pension expense is this. How you determine pension expense? Well, period pension expense is component of many items. Well, this is the pension expense is first interest cost. Interest cost, you have a PBO. PBO, you have to multiply the interest rate on PBO, and that's the interest cost. PBO. Current period service cost. X percentage of your salary will be invested in pension. From company point of view, that's a service cost. And do we ring the bell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like trying to recall what they are.
Amortization of prior service cost. And there is a plus expense. This will increase expense, right? Increase expense, right? What will be decreasing for a pension expense? Huh?
Payment to the,
Oh, well, you do this and transfer money to the agent, and that is a cash transaction. Now, for period expense, this will increase your pension expense, but the net of what? This item will decrease your pension expense.
interest earned by the assets.
Yeah, return on by your pension asset. Now, the way they increase $4 million, decrease pension expense by $4 million is, you know what? This year, we can make 8% on our asset.
Yeah.
That was 6% last year. I think we'll get more return this year. I think. And that gives 4 million and increase, you decrease interest expense by the assumed return for the year. So they increase 4 million by changing return assumption. And that's how they increase. Number 9, pension expense, 4,066,000 per share. So, 5.62 was last night figure. This is the, I think I will get more number. I can find a couple more items. Here, I just browse through obvious item. And pension, 66 cents. No, this is 66 cents. Okay, so this is a $6.28. $6.28 per share. Now this $6.68 is artificial increase in EPS by management. Management intervention. Increase per share basis, $6.28. Now, some of them are obvious, this one, but promotional expense allowances here, slight, well, they might have a good explanation for this. But there's no reason, when sales stay the same, goes up, there's no reason to believe that this much of reduction in R&D and promotional expenses are required. So, if that is the case, they report. I should use. This is a $6.28, right? Of the artificial increase. So how much they report? $1.28 earnings per share.
$5.
So what was the actual EPS?
-5.
-$5.
Negative? Compute.
$5.
$5. Now, wouldn't that be close to 282, 83 here?
You're right in the middle.
Yeah. $7, $3.49 they report, $5 net loss per share instead of $1.28. The biggest question, why? Why they make this 10 or this more than 10, I guess, the artificial adjustment to report positive net income? What is net income? 40% bonus they introduce. Top 10 or top 9 management will get bonus if they report this. So this manufactured EPS was actually $5 net losses. They are nowhere near to cash bonus of 40%. What's surprising me is independent CPA knew this, all these transactions, examined every single item. They say, 93 cents, yeah, this is from cumulative effect, that's depreciation changes from double declining to a straight line. Other than that, everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of $5, out of 93 cents. They say, oh, other than 93 cents, everything else is just fine. They say, specifically they say, all a financial statement are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principle. All numbers are subject to generally accepted auditing standard. I pick up this annual report prepared by Big Four accounting firm, and I say, oh, turn around. If this is the case, they report huge income here. Why don't I invest 1 million here? Recipe for disaster. Because this number will be 5, this number is a 5 red figure, and who knows what's gonna be here. This is the danger of giving independent CPA, professional service to the average users of financial reporting, because if average Joe reads a auditor's report, oh, CPA, they examine this. Wow, we have net income. They will make a decision based upon that. What else do you find? You found anything else other than these 10 items, 9 items? No, this was my schedule. Last night I went over and I read this, and then list up all the
Casual Friday night.
revenue, income increasing. Now, what's surprising here? How come all 9 of them pension? How come all 9 of them 0.1 pension? Income increase. If their motivation here is to pay less tax, I bet this all 9 transactions will go to downside, south. Why? Reduce taxable income, pay less tax, saving money. This is a very old case, but this is what you face. Well, a little bit extreme case, but certainly it can happen anytime. Can't comment. I did a computation. You comment on it. Let's also this company is your client. You walk in and they give this financial statement. Look, this is our financial statement, and that is this $28, 1984 financial statement. And you are a auditor, senior auditor, and you have to do preliminary audit and report to a partner in charge. Your comment, general comment. I did the computation, and it's your turn to comment on this. Any other earnings management? I'm sure there are some more items. This is obvious item that I collected this morning, and this is comparable. $7, $3.50, and $5 net losses. That's reasonable. Pattern, right? Doesn't change. Economic situation stays the same. And there's no reason to believe they report a $1.28 per share positive EPS. Michael, if you start your career all over again, at the age of 25, you got a job with PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and you are auditing this case.
Okay, I see all these numbers, and I obviously see there's earnings management, right? So there's risk.
Huge.
Take this client on. And then we gotta ask ourselves, is the risk worth taking on the job?
Mm-hmm.
If we see these kind of things, quote Warren Buffett, or in our text, there's not one cockroach in that.
Yeah.
And that's an equipment I'm used, not colloquial, not boring. I would say there's definite risk here in taking on this client. And
You're, okay.
Because Cause if we say to them, you gotta reverse these things, they're probably gonna walk away from it.
See, you're a staff accountant. You just got a job with the PwC, prestigious accounting firm. You thought you would have a lifetime career with them. And you are reporting this to your partner. Look, there is something serious going on. And partner says, you know what? Go back and read that because this is a $20 million account.
Exactly.
We can't afford losing it. What is your option?
Well,
What the rule says?
okay, now we're talking maybe ethical question here.
No, rule. Ethical
The
is.
rule is, I guess he's trying to put pressure on me to say, this isn't bad.
Uh-huh.
And I'm saying, you know, and I guess.
But remember, your job is on the line.
Oh, no, I've been there. I've been on both sides, I've been there, where it's like, no, this isn't right, you go a different path. So now, you ask yourself, you walk away as a staff accountant and say, well, look, I don't want to be involved with this. And you write your concern to the partner saying, hey, this is what I see, this is what my concerns are. I think that's the rule, right? You document your.
Yes. You document your disagreement in the working paper,
Right.
and you ask partner to reassign yourself to some other audit engagement.
Right.
That's all you can do. Would they like it? I don't know. But that's the rule set. Auditing standard rule says, when you disagree with your partner or senior audit manager, you document all the disagreement in the working paper and ask them to reassign to the other engagement.
You know.
You cover yourself by doing that way.
And people, things change, you can end up.
Clayton, you think that's a legal issue? You think this is legal? Should be legal or should not be, allowed? What is your take on
Well,
this? This is an extreme case. I mean,
I mean-
$5 per share losses, but in order to get their bonus, they change at least 9, 10 items to report this guy positive numbers.
Well, I think the bonus structure alone is an audit risk. I mean, just off the bat, when you're analyzing if you're going to engage the client, I think that you look at that and red flags going up right away. But legally, I mean, GAAP is passed by Congress, right? So legally, if it
No.
follows GAAP, doesn't it?
No, it's not passed by Congress.
Or I thought
TASB's an independent board, it's under the SEC control, but
The rules and regulations allow you to do this. And
are there any
some-
material misstatements?
And it's your judgment, so it's your business judgment.
Right.
So we're going to fight you on that. As long as you back up those judgments with some sort of qualification in there, as an auditor, can you know better than the actual people who are doing the work?
No, as an independent CPA, go ahead, please.
Well, no, what he brought up, are there any material misstatements? Well, materiality is based on what the user finds would change his decision on a stock. And so if all of those things presented themselves, then the user would obviously say that it's not worth as much as it says it is. So technically it would be material.
Yeah, this.
But I mean,
This should be material. Because they think this is material.
Right,
But
but-
you have a client that could rationalize each and every single one of the moves.
I think then from an auditing perspective, you sit down with them and you show them what the
cumulative effect is.
cumulative effect is, and you tell them
Well,
that
they
there's
know
no
it.
way that we
They
can
need
agree
to
with
know
all
this.
this.
Independent CPA, by the way, independent CPA was not in trouble. They were fine with legal liability. The reason why they were fine is everything is correct. In other words, this is a materiality issue. They always got away with the legal problem because as long as they document their audit procedure in the working paper, that's it. It is, it's not ethical issue aside. What's the difference by then after SOX 2002? If that happens after 2002, what is the possible outcome? That's a new account.
Internal controls.
Huh?
Fines and jail for the CEO and the CFO.
If they, but one condition is they knew this wrong information It's not staff accountants accounting. CEO, CFO knew about this, and they knowingly sign off this statement. Yes, they go to jail. And the bonus they got, what is success? SOX 2002 says, if they got bonus based upon this, what happened to their bonus they received?
Fall back.
They have to pay back. Clawback provision. It's not your bonus. Even SOX 2002 says, you got bonus based upon wrong accounting, you gotta pay back. Clawback provision of SOX 2002. Accounting environment is quite different. For the first time, doing signing or certification of this type of financials, CEO, CFO face criminal liability. Up to 2002, it's a civil offense, civil liability. You pay damage, that's it. Now, in addition to civil liability, criminal liability. You have to do time. Serious problem. Rebecca, what is your take on that? I use this as case because this is old case and old accounting, but still, to make a point, I mean, compared to this, that is just innocent, naive, we chose 6 items, yes, that was it. But still, bonus is on the line for those top guys, and they put this book to get bonus, and they are fine with this.
I mean, talk about ethics, but I mean,
It's ethics. We have to be very careful about it. In this country, if you don't have any trouble with the law, nobody says you are ethical or unethical. This ethical issue is just too sad to say this, but ethical issue, we don't talk about it much. That's why accounting curriculum, they keep saying, AICPA keep sending us information. Why don't you include the more ethical components of curriculum? All you need is one, a regular CEO who wants to do it. This guy will override entire internal control system. Doesn't matter whether you have a segregation of duty, perfect accounting package, doesn't matter. Software, this guy will